Noel Donnelly began to grow on Ellie a little over those weekly winter visits. Not a lot, but a little, mainly because she was a really good teacher, and Ellie was now at the top of the top stream in her class with a predicted AA result. But in other ways too. She often brought Ellie a little something: a packet of earrings from Claire's Accessories, a fruit-flavoured lip balm, a really nice pen. "For my best student," she'd say, and if Ellie protested she'd brush it away with a "Well, I was in Brent Cross, you know. It's a little bit of nothing really." She would always ask about Theo as well, when she'd met briefly on her second or third session in the house. "And how's that handsome feller of yours?" she'd ask, in a way that should have been mortifying, but it wasn't, mainly because of her lovely Irish accent, which made most things she said sound funnier and more interesting than they actually were. "He's fine," Ellie would say, and Noelle would smile her slightly chilly smile and say, "Well, he's a keeper." GCSEs were now looming large on the horizon. It was March, and Ellie had started to count down in her exams, in weeks rather than months. Her Tuesday afternoon sessions with Noelle had been building in momentum as her brain stretched, and tautened and absorbed facts and formula more easily. There was a snappy pace in their lessons now, a high-octane rhythm, so Ellie noticed immediately the shift in Noelle's mood the first Tuesday in March. "Good afternoon, young lady," she said, putting her bag on the table and unzipping it. "How are you?" "I'm fine." "Well, that's good, I'm glad. And how did you get on with your homework?" Ellie slid the completed work across the table towards Noelle. Normally Noelle would put on her reading glasses and start marking it immediately, but today she just laid her fingertips on top of it and drummed them absent-mindedly. "Good girl," she said. "You are such a good girl." Ellie watched her questioningly from the corner of her eyes, waiting for a signal that their lesson was about to begin, but none came. Instead, Noelle stared blindly at the homework. "Tell me, Ellie," she said eventually, turning her unblinking gaze to Ellie, "what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you?" Ellie shrugged. "What?" Noel continued, "like a hamster dying. Like a hamster dying, something like that." "I haven't had a hamster." "Ha, well then maybe that. Maybe not having a hamster is the worst thing that happened to you." Ellen shrugged again. "I never really wanted one." "Well then, what did you want? What did you really want that you weren't allowed to have?" In the background, Ellie could hear the TV in the kitchen, the sound of her mother hoovering overhead, her sister chatting to someone on the phone, her family just getting on with their lives and not having to have weird conversations about hamsters with their maths tutor. Nothing really, just the usual things: money, clothes." "You never really wanted a dog?" "Not really." Noel sighed and pushed Ellie's homework towards her. "Well then, you're a very lucky girl indeed. You really are. And I hope you appreciate how lucky you are." Ellie nodded. "Good, because when you get to my age here, there'll be loads of things you want, and you'll see everybody else getting them. And you'll think, well, it must be my turn now, surely. And then you'll watch it disappear into the sunset. And there'll be nothing you can do about it, nothing whatsoever." There was a moment of ponderous silence, before finally, slowly, Noelle slid her glasses on her nose, pulled back the first page of Ellie's homework, and said, "Right then, let's see how my best student got on this week. Tell me, Ellie, what are your hopes and dreams?" Ellie groaned inwardly. Noelle Donnelly was in one of those moods again. "Just to do really well in my GCSEs and my A-levels, and then go to a really good university." Noelle tutted and rolled her eyes. "What is it with you young people and your obsession with university? Oh, the fanfare when I got into Trinity. Such a big deal. My mother wouldn't stop telling the world. Her only girl at Trinity. and look at me now, one of the poorest people I know." Ellie smiled and wondered what to say. "No, there's more to life than university, Miss Smarty Pants. There's more than just certificates and qualifications. I have them coming out my ears, and look at me, sitting here with you in your lovely warm house, drinking your lovely Earl Green tea, getting paid a pittance to fill your brain with my knowledge, then going home to nothing." She turned sharply and fixed Ellie with a look. "To nothing, I swear." Then she sighed and smiled, and the glasses came up her nose, and her gaze left Ellie, and the lesson commenced.